Jan Daniels back in the bank. Everybody.
It's Northwest there.
Everybody's gonna be there. Everybody's talking about it.
Hello.
Wednesday grind.
That was what? Williams outside today. Jeez. Back at home with blood this week. Let's go. Let's go.
German word of the day, Staubsauger.
What does that mean?
Vacuum.
Great day.
Speaking of where you guys have come from to where you are today, at the same time knowing your personnel, I know you guys have done a lot to kind of mix and match people and figure out where to best utilize guys. How well do you feel like you know your personnel at this stage?
Yeah, certainly a lot better than the 7 weeks ago to how to feature guys and going at, certainly the running back room is one that has emerged of how to feature guys and doing that. And I think there's a lot of room to grow in a lot of spots. We've liked how we've used safeties and nickels and linebackers in different spots. Sometimes you see Frankie on the edge and sometimes behind the ball. So I'm still, still growing into that space, but I would say that we know a lot more now. And I think like the receiver probably is the best example of moving guys and featuring them in different ways. And so, at the addition of Noah, right there, at that time was a big addition for us too.
For them, it was kind of frustrating for watching back at the game. We weren't that good on third down. They did a good job of getting off the field on third down. So kudos to them. Tipped some passes, got us in some third and longer situations. So just going back to that, watching the film is, going out there, how can we be better as a unit? I think third down was one of the main emphasis that we didn't execute at a high level at. For us, we just got to go out there and play our game and execute. At the end of the day, it's the NFL. Any given Sunday, you could lose any game against any opponent. So it doesn't matter who you play. You got to go out there, have the same process, respect the grind, put your best foot forward on Sunday.
Moving on to the injury report, we're going to start with us at the top. Dorrance Armstrong, he's dealing with that ribs injury still. He didn't practice today. Obviously, he suffered it against the Ravens on Sunday. And I don't think he's going to play this week. Dan Quinn, he said in his press conference today that this shouldn't be a long-term issue for Dorrance Armstrong. It should be relatively short. So maybe he makes a return next week against the Bears. But if I had to guess, he's probably not going to practice all week. And he's probably not going to play on Sunday against the Panthers. So losing him would be huge because our pass rush is already weak right now. We lost Jonathan Allen to injury. Javonte Jean-Baptiste, he got placed on IR today, which we'll get to in a bit. But, losing Dorrance Armstrong, he's arguably, he's been our best edge rusher over the past couple weeks. He's provided a spark in the pass rush game, so losing him would definitely sting. And then Zach Ertz, he got rest today. He gets rest every Wednesday, so nothing to worry about with him. And then Tyler Owens, dealing with that shin injury still. He did not practice today, so I'm not sure when Tyler Owens will return to practice. He is one of our key special teams contributors, and our special teams has been fine without him, but, hopefully he can return soon. Just sucks that he's missed, 2 straight games now, possibly going to be 3 with the Panthers game on Sunday. He didn't practice today, so I honestly doubt he will play on Sunday against the Panthers, unless he's like a limited participant tomorrow. Maybe he has a chance, but doubt he plays on Sunday. And then everybody else, Nick Allegretti, Noah Brown, Percy Butler, Cleveland Farrell, Frankie Louvu, Quan Martin, Terry got rest today, so he's fine. Deron Payne, Emmanuel Forbes, Jordan McGee, they should be fine. They're probably going to activate Jordan McGee from IR this week since this is the last week where his window's open. If they don't activate him off IR this week, then he will stay on IR for the remainder of the season, so they're probably going to activate him this week. And then Brian Robinson, he was limited today, which is really good. Now, we still have to see if he practices tomorrow. We still have to see if he practices on Friday. Dan Quinn said in his press conference that it's good to, have B-Rob back practicing. Obviously, he missed Sunday's game against the Ravens. He still had a sore knee, so, they just didn't want to play him, just wanted to give him some rest. And, missed a week. Hopefully, he can return this week against the Panthers. Honestly, I said last week, I wouldn't mind, sitting him against the Panthers because I'm not underestimating the Panthers or anything. I'm not overlooking them, but we should beat them. They are a team that we should beat by honestly like 2 or 3 scores. So if you want to say B-Rob this week, I would not mind at all. But, with him being limited today, we'll see if he practices tomorrow and Friday. But this is definitely encouraging. So looks like he's on track to playing on Sunday, but we have to see how he practices tomorrow and Friday. Moving on to the Panthers injury report, and their injury report is very lengthy. I think they got like 19 players on here, somewhere around there, but they got a whole bunch of players on this. Claudin Shurlis, their linebacker, dealing with a hamstring injury, didn't practice. Jadeveon Clowney, their starting outside linebacker, he's dealing with a shoulder injury. He didn't practice, so that's something to keep an eye on there. Troy Hill, Chuba Hubbard, they got rest today, so they're fine. Josie Jewell, Deontay Johnson, Taylor Morton, those 3 guys are big ones right there. So if they don't play, man, that will be huge losses for the Panthers. So definitely going to keep an eye on those guys. Jonathan Brooks, he's still on IR, but his practice window was open this week. And then David Moore, LeBron Ray, Andrew Rame, Nick Scott, Tommy Tremble, Sam Franklin Jr., Dean Jackson, and Jaden Krumdi. They should be good to go for Sunday's game. The only guys to really pay attention to are Jadeveon Clowney, Josie Jewell, Deontay Johnson, Taylor Morton. If I had to guess, I think, Morton and Johnson, they'll be fine. Maybe they're just dealing with like a minor injury. They didn't want to push them today, and they'll probably be good to go for tomorrow and Friday. But we shall keep an eye on those guys right there. Josie Jewell is very interesting because he hasn't played over the past 2 to 3 weeks for the Panthers, I'm pretty sure. So that's one of their starting linebackers. So if he can't go, that is huge right there. And then Jadeveon Clowney, obviously another guy to watch, one of their starting outside linebackers. So if he doesn't go, then, that will be a huge loss for them. So that is it for today's injury report. And then real quick, want to talk about some roster moves that were announced earlier today. First things first, we placed Jonathan Allen and Javonte Jean-Baptiste on IR. So obviously Allen, he obviously suffered a torn pectoral, so he's out for the season, which is unfortunate. But Javonte Jean-Baptiste, he injured his lower leg. I don't think they specified the injury, but he suffered some type of lower leg injury after the Ravens game or during the Ravens game. But he was noticed with a limp and I think a boot on his leg after the Ravens game. And Dan Quinn in his press conference today, he said that it won't be a long-term, IR placement for Javonte Jean-Baptiste, meaning he won't be on IR, for longer than 4 games, which is, how long players must be out for if they are placed on IR. So this sucks because, like I said with Dorrance Armstrong, losing Javonte Jean-Baptiste just makes our defensive line weaker than it already is. I mean, it's already not great, already doesn't have a good amount of depth. So, losing more depth in Javonte Jean-Baptiste, makes it weaker. And obviously, Dorrance Armstrong, I doubt he plays this week with that ribs injury. Ribs injuries are super tricky, hard to play with. So, he's probably not going to be playing this week against the Panthers. Maybe next week against the Bears, but probably not this week. So, our defensive line has gotten weaker, and it was already, not the strongest, little weak with the depth especially, but now we're losing more depth, and now it's become weaker. So, hopefully, Javonte Jean-Baptiste, he can be back after those 4 weeks on IR. But, it's not good that we lose more and more depth. But we did sign Jalen Holmes, who has played with 3 teams throughout his entire career. 4 teams. 3 seasons with the Vikings, 1 with the Saints, 1 with the Bears, and 2 with the Jets. Hasn't done much in his career, only has 2 sacks. So, that's just some depth there. And then we signed Sheldon Day from the practice squad. And we signed defensive tackle Carl Davis to the practice squad. He has ties to Dallas, as he has been in Dallas for the past 2 seasons on the practice squad. So those are some ties to Dan Quinn and Joe Witt Jr., which is probably one of the main reasons as to why we signed him to the practice squad. Bringing over some defensive line depth, but how much will they help? We shall see. And then one last thing before I end off today's video, I want to talk about Kyle Fuller real quick. Not going to talk about him for too long, but we did work him out yesterday. And I just know we want to find some corner depth. Our corner depth is pretty abysmal right now. We have guys playing out of position like Mikey Scanner still and Noah Benogany just because we do not have the depth. So we worked out Kyle Fuller, former Bears cornerback, and he also played for the Broncos and Ravens for a year. He hasn't played in the NFL since 2022, so we worked him out yesterday. And if we were to sign him, we were to sign him by now. So I doubt we will, really sign him. Nothing's going to materialize there most likely. We just wanted to work him out, see if he has any juice left in the tank. And he probably didn't, which is why I didn't sign him. Nothing materialized. That's just my guess, though. Maybe we sign him to the practice squad or the roster later on, but I just don't see that happening, really. Maybe we bring in some more cornerback depth later on to work out or sign, but we shall see. But yeah, Kyle Fuller, obviously the brother of Kendall Fuller, former Commanders cornerback. He really hasn't been the same since that 2018 All-Pro season for him, where he had a career-high 7 interceptions, 21 pass deflections. Obviously, like I stated, made the Pro Bowl and was a first-team All-Pro. So really good right there. But since then, really hasn't been the same player. And to be honest, now at this point, I could have sworn he was retired, man. So I was kind of surprised that, we brought him in for a workout yesterday. But at this point, he's pretty much washed. He's like 32, 33 at this point. So really no point in signing him. So that is it for today's video. Hope you guys enjoyed. If you did, leave a like down below. Subscribe, turn on notifications. I'm on the road to 4,000 subscribers. So if you could, hit that sub button. I'd really appreciate it. And other than that, it's been King Sean, and I'm out. Peace.